alternative, you personify this word because for the last few decades you have showed us and opened our eyes and minds to issues that otherwise we would have never known or learned. But your movies have also irked many of your detractors who accused you of rewriting history. And your consistent answer was always, I'm a dramatist, not a historian. So how do you balance drama with historical veracity?
I am a dramatist. I'm a storyteller. This is my strength. This is what I do. I can tell a story. I take sometimes very thorny contemporary matter and turn it into drama, whether it's a JFK, a Nixon, or Vietnam War. Certainly the financial world on Wall Street is very difficult to dramatize, without being, hopefully staying realistic to what I go and I research, I go talk to the people who are involved in the events, if they're alive. I read as much as I can about the material, and then I bring, that's what a dramatist does. I have to remind you perhaps that dramatists existed before the historians. In Greece, the ancient theater, Sophocles, Aeschylus, Euripides, were writing before Herodotus and the other historians. So remember that. I mean, drama has always interwoven with history, and I think often has given us insights that history, if written in a certain way, cannot give us. Certain historians can put the facts together a certain way, but they always leave out other facts. They do their own form of cherry picking too. And every historian has a point of view depending on his experience, his life condition, and so forth and so on. We know that because historians are all over the lot, from left to right. So the dramatist exists in his own framework, his own world. We work inside history. We go in there and we sometimes intuitively see things. The only thing that we declare a drama has license, and we say very clearly this is not a history. My story of Nixon, my story of George W. Bush, JFK, these are dramatic dramas. They are absolutely clear to the audience that you're coming into a stage, a theater here. Now, this new thing I've done, The Untold History of the United States, is a documentary. We stand by the facts that are presented in there, and we fact check them with more than one source. We had to do it for legal reasons. And I have to tell you that it's a complicated process doing a documentary. It took far longer than I normally would take on a film. It took me 5 years to make Untold History. But that was a very good discipline. And we used theatrical conceits throughout the documentary, in the editing and in the use of movie clips and in the use of our narration. I think we were very poetic at times, and we spent a lot of time writing that narration. But we never deviated from stating the facts as they were.
In the White House, who sent his wife, Eleanor, to help serve the veterans 3 hot meals a day with coffee. One veteran remarked, Hoover sent the army, Roosevelt sent his wife.
Recently, a script that you've written about Martin Luther King was not approved by his people. And when I was discussing this with a young African-American student, she said, Oliver Stone shouldn't make a movie about Martin Luther King because he's not black and he would never understand the sanctity of the man to black people. He's a prophet to us, and he can't just turn him into a philanderer.
Well, I think the young woman has a right to her opinion, but I really think that gender politics, identity politics ruin drama, they ruin history, they ruin everything. I mean, it's just awful if only black people can write about black people and white people can write about white people. It's ridiculous. We have to move away from those stereotypes. I mean, some of the best histories on Martin Luther King were written by Taylor Branch, who got a Pulitzer Prize for his monumental achievement. Also, David Garrow wrote some wonderful stuff on King, and also black historians. And I quoted them in my Facebook account. I said, I took from David Cohn and from Michael Eric Tyson, who really, these are the cutting-edge black historians who will go openly into the adultery, into all these are not rumors on King's life. This is not stuff that is only invented by Hoover. Hoover had tapes. We know that they had tapes. The same, and we have Ralph Abernathy, who was his closest friend, who wrote it in his book. We have a woman who was a state senator in Kentucky, Georgia Davis. She's still alive, I believe. She wrote a whole book about her relationship with Martin Luther King. There are numerous stories. Harry Belafonte, numerous stories about this, and it's nothing to be, you know, this is the way of the world, and we're grown-ups here. So, you know, I'm saying that it was ridiculous that the family and the people around this estate are so protective about a mythology about King. You got to break through that. That's what I've been doing in my movie since the beginning. If by this young woman's standards, I would never even have started on the JFK story, because I couldn't prove that he was killed by a shot from the front. You know, that's, you can say anything you want. Why don't we just censor all of history and just go with what's official and proper and respectable? This is what I'm saying. I think that I would have made a very good King movie. I wrote a very interesting script, but it was too shocking, I think, for them.